we're here with JD and CY.
Yeah, I could just real quick.
Okay, I'm going to turn it over to John Daniels real quick, and then we'll start taking a few questions. Let's keep this one briefer than yesterday.
Okay, thanks, John. Thanks, everybody, for joining us again. As you know, we're announcing acquisition of Mitch Garver. The deal with the Twins, where we traded Isiah Kiner-Falefa and Ronnie Henriquez to Minnesota. But first, I want to thank those two players and Izzy in particular. He's tremendous heart, tremendous desire, winning player. I absolutely loved having him here with the organization, on the team. I know he's a fan favorite, and wish him in particular all the best. Really, two scouting and development success stories. A 4th-round pick at a high school. Played just about everywhere on the field for us. Gold Glove, became a young leader on the team, and then Ronnie Henriquez, a $10,000 sign out of the Dominican. Great scouting job, great development story, and very promising talent. Had a career ahead of him. We're excited to welcome Mitch to the Rangers. He and his wife Sarah. We're talking about a Silver Slugger winning catcher that a real competitive advantage behind the plate. He's got great reviews on his makeup and kind of leadership. And Bobby Wilson had some time with him. Garrett Kennedy, who's our catching coordinator, knows him as well, and one of those guys that really stands out when we've competed against him. So looking forward to welcoming him and seeing him grow here on the team and help us grow as we work towards building a championship club. Kind of a unique timing of it. Obviously, it's kind of a winter meetings type deal made in spring training, just because of the nature of the off season. But so there's still some additional decisions that we'll have to make and sort through the rest of the roster. But that's kind of where we are today.
Okay.
So Mitch obviously is I would assume your starting catcher, right? I mean,
that's right. Yeah.
That's the reason.
That's the intent.
So you feel something there, but now you've created an opening at third base. I guess the best way to ask this is, do you guys see investing with Josh Young still being out there? I know we don't know what the situation will be. Do you see investing considered significant resources, financial or inventory, to filling that need?
So as we sit today, we look at it as Andy Ibanez and Yanni Hernandez are probably at the top of the depth chart as we open camp here. We have a number of really talented young infielders that, in Josh's case, the health situation, the rest of the group from Davis Wenzel and Josh Smith and Ezekiel Duran, Foscue, and I don't want to miss somebody, so excuse me if I didn't name them, but that group we're high on as well. We don't view them as likely ready for opening day. They need some development time, and we want to do right by them. So we are going to continue to look externally to see if there's the right fit for us.
Jeff?
What does happen to catchers? You now have 4 40-man catchers, 2 incumbent guys returning. How do you see those last spots shaking out?
I'll go first. It's a position of strength for us. I mean, Mitch, the intention is for him to be our starter. Now because of a couple of on-field injuries, he hasn't had a chance to, where he hasn't played over 100 games behind the plate. So I do think depth is important there. He also could play some first or DH is what he looks to mix and match a little bit. But with Jose and with Jonah, we're going to sort through that here in camp, and not ready to say exactly how that's going to turn out just now. Sam is the other 40-man catcher you referenced is didn't play last year, obviously. More of a development point in time for him, and really want to get him healthy and just go out and let him perform. So that's how we're viewing the position.
Okay.
On Sam, is he like full go ready to catch come opening day? whether that's AAA or otherwise.
Yeah, as of right now, there are no restrictions for Sam, so we're excited about the progress that he's made and the time, the effort, the commitment, the work he's put in over the course of the off season. Obviously, haven't been able to talk to him, but he showed up. He looks great.
We'll take a few questions from anybody out on the Zoom, so please raise your hands. Chris?
Yesterday, CY, you mentioned that starting pitching and preferably a corner outfielder were your priorities, and you guys acquire a starting catcher today. Are those still priorities, or does this trade possibly impact your ability to address one or the other one of those other two positions?
No, Chris, those are still priorities, but it's all fluid. We continue to gauge the market and understand how this impacts our club today as compared to where we were yesterday. But all in all, I think those priorities still remain.
How quickly did this trade come together? Is this something that you talked with Minnesota with before the lockout and then picked it up, or did this kind of come together kind of quickly?
This discussion started before the lockout. Kind of really picked up in the 48 hours or so before things shut down. We had gotten a number of calls on Kiner at that point. We decided to kind of step back and not rush into it because it was just, there was so much going on, as we all recall. And obviously we put it on hold for 3 months. Really didn't know exactly where it would come out. Minnesota re-engaged here, a day or two ago, and mostly came together yesterday and did the final details this morning.
All right, thanks, guys.
Stephen.
Yeah, John, it's kind of what I was going to ask you. You mentioned the fact that it was kind of like a winter meetings trade made now because of the way the season, but since you addressed it, what about with Izzy? I mean, obviously, it's been kind of a strange ride for him, the way he's came in, catcher, this, that. Why do you think it just quite hadn't worked out, or is it just circumstance with what you were able to get with Corey Seager and Marcus and those guys?
Yeah, Steven, I guess I think it has worked out great. I mean, I think he's made himself into a hell of a player. Was on a borderline all-star trajectory in the first half for, when it's a little bit of a slump there, but then finished strong. Listen, this is a situation of, when we made the investments in Corey and Marcus, I remember those press conferences, and one of the questions that you all had asked was about, what does this mean for Izzy and the young infielders coming, and we knew we were going to have some good decisions to make. That's what this is. This is, us, looking at our options, knowing we've got this other group coming, we've got these two all-stars in the middle of the diamond, and that, we could acquire a player in Mitch that is, pretty close to all-star status. And so that's really what this is about. We had to give up some quality to get something, but I think it speaks something very positively about Izzy, that there are a number of teams that were calling and wanted him as their starting shortstop.
I was about to say, he did make it clear that he wanted to be a shortstop, so he's kind of put himself in that position.
Yeah, we had a great call with him this morning. I mean, Woody called him up and put him on speaker, and the three of us had a chance to talk. And I mean, just a lot of mutual admiration and appreciation between he and the organization.
All right. Thanks, man.
Mm-hmm.
Alex?
You guys mentioned with Garver maybe getting some reps at first base. For someone like Lowe, is there a chance that maybe he gets some reps at third base? I know you mentioned a few guys down the line.
It's not in our plans at this point, Alex. I mean, he did do it, previously, very briefly, I think with Tampa, and he took some ground balls there last year. I think that's more of a an emergency situation than something we're going to look to prepare him for.
I'll take a couple more. Chris?
Hey, Chris and JD. So real quick, so with Mitch, obviously as a batter has a silver slugger, but would you say this move is most important for the younger pitchers on the staff to help groom them going forward?
Well, I think it's important in a lot of ways, but I think that is one of the things that Mitch adds to our group is some veteran experience behind the plate. Not that we don't have that in Jose. I think Jonah's a little shorter than Jose in terms of service time, but certainly Mitch is a little bit older and has have a reputation for working well with pitchers. I think that that wisdom and experience and that relationship is extremely important for the development of our young staff. And we're looking forward to fostering that. So that is a contributing factor in terms of how we view Mitch's strengths, and we're excited about it.
Anything else before we let go? Any other questions on Zoom? Okay, guys. CJ?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep.
Sorry about that, and I apologize for being late, but I just wanted to ask you guys about the splits last year. He was really strong against righties, not necessarily what he's, but I'm just wondering if you've drawn any conclusions from that, and kind of as far as any or role based on last year in those strong splits.
No, see, I think it's looking forward to Tim Hires and Donnie and Seth Connor and those guys getting a chance to break it down, work with him. But we view him as somebody that could hit both sides, and he was very productive last year. It was only 60-something games, I think, due to the injuries. So we're not reading too much into that split.
And then the last one for me regarding what looked like.
Breaking up, CJ.
I'm breaking up.
Go ahead again.
Oh, I apologize. But last year defensively, they look like the strongest of his career. Reports on improvement for him over these last couple part.
Yeah, he was one of the I think the first guys to go to kind of one knee stance. Minnesota was at the forefront of that, and I think it really helped him with his receiving. But I've gotten pretty strong reports there. I guess Bobby Wilson knows him well. They were together, and then Garrett Kennedy, who's our catching coordinator in the minor leagues, was with Minnesota and knows him well as well. So feel pretty good about that piece.